The studio lights burned brighter than the sun, casting long shadows across the polished floor. Tashi inhaled deeply, his chest rising and falling with the rhythm of nerves and anticipation. This was the moment he had dreamed of since childhood in the hills of Arunachal, where he had first learned to dance by mimicking the sway of bamboo groves and the pulse of festival drums. His village was small, tucked between mountains, where evenings were filled with the sound of cicadas and the laughter of children chasing fireflies. Dance had been his secret language, a way to express what words could not. Now, far from home, he stood on the threshold of a reality show that promised fame, recognition, and perhaps something more, something he couldn't yet name. The other contestants buzzed around him, stretching, rehearsing, whispering strategies. Some were seasoned performers from big cities, their confidence radiating like neon lights. Tashi tied the laces of his dance shoes with deliberate care, grounding himself in the ritual. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear of dancing but from the weight of being seen. Cameras were everywhere, their red lights blinking like watchful eyes. He had always danced for himself, for the joy of movement, but now every step would be judged, dissected, broadcast to millions. The thought was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. The door opened, and silence rippled through the room. Rohan Mehta entered. The producer, the architect of the show, the man whose reputation preceded him like thunder before rain. Tall, poised, with a presence that commanded attention without effort, Rohan moved with the calm authority of someone who shaped worlds behind the scenes. His gaze swept across the contestants, sharp yet unreadable, until it landed briefly on Tashi. In that fleeting moment, Tashi felt something shift inside him, as though the spotlight had turned unexpectedly toward his soul. He looked away quickly, embarrassed by the sudden heat in his chest, but the sensation lingered like a secret melody. The auditions began. One by one, dancers stepped forward, pouring their bodies into rhythm, their sweat into ambition. Some dazzled with acrobatics, others with precision, each trying to carve a place in the spotlight. Tashi watched, absorbing the energy, the competition, the hunger. He admired their skill but reminded himself that his strength lay elsewhere, in storytelling through movement, in weaving emotion into every gesture. When his turn came, he walked to the center, the floor beneath him humming with possibility. The music started, a fusion of traditional beats and modern bass, and Tashi let go. His body became a story, each movement a sentence, each leap a declaration. He danced not just to impress but to confess, to reveal the boy who had grown up chasing fireflies in the hills, who had turned loneliness into choreography, who now stood here daring to be seen. The rhythm carried him higher, faster, until he was no longer aware of the cameras or the judges. He was back in his village, under the stars, dancing for the spirits of the forest. He was in the city, proving to himself that he belonged. He was everywhere and nowhere, suspended in the purity of motion. When the music ended, silence followed. Then applause, scattered at first, then swelling. Tashi bowed, his heart racing, sweat dripping down his temples. He glanced toward Rohan, who stood at the edge, arms folded, expression unreadable. It wasn't approval, not exactly. It was attention, focused and intent, as though Rohan had seen beyond the performance into the person. The judges gave their comments, praising his originality, his emotional depth. Tashi nodded politely, but his mind was elsewhere, replaying that moment of connection. He told himself it was nothing. Producers looked at contestants all the time. But deep inside, he knew this was different. There had been a spark, subtle yet undeniable, a recognition that went beyond the stage. Listen to the full story on blstories land.